Hello, it is Social Media Saturday, January 2nd, 2020, the first Social Media Saturday of the year. And yet it is same old when it comes to social media. The big tech companies tipping the scales, putting all of the power they have behind the liberal, leftist, Democrat candidates in elections, just like they did in the presidential election about a month ago in November. Couple of months ago. Now they're doing the same thing in the Senate runoff election for the senators, for the Georgia Congress senators, whatever it is. They a few days ago, just like less than a week before the election, they shut down one of the senators' fundraising Republican pages on Facebook for some bogus reason, and later on did the usual and claimed like, "Oops, sorry, that was just an honest mistake. We didn't mean to do that. Oh, it's the same old. So a few things are happening here. Number one, more and more people are scramoosing off of Facebook. I find when I go and say happy birthday to somebody and I see they haven't posted in a year or in 6 months or whatever, I see that happening much more than it used to. And there are other places cropping up where they can go. I saw this happening when I spent 3.5 years as a consultant with the Yellow Pages publisher, where for years they were a monopoly and every local business had to have an ad in the Yellow Pages, especially any kind of emergency service or, in case of a storm or something, and you had to call a roofer, a plumber, a fence guy or whatever. You went to the Yellow Pages. There was no internet. There was no other Yellow Pages books. There was only one from the phone company in every town, and they mistreated all the advertisers like the big bad monopoly they were, and got so much ill will that when other Yellow Pages books came along and the internet came out, came as a force, and online directories and online search engines started to be the thing for people as an alternative to the Yellow Pages, man, the advertisers were just jetting away from the phone book Yellow Pages to any other Yellow Pages, or taking all their money and putting it online. And I see the same thing happening now with Facebook, where, nothing good lasts forever. And for years, anyone that's been following me has seen me, warning anyone that relies on Facebook, or certainly only Facebook advertising or Facebook groups or Facebook anything for their business, be careful, because nothing lasts forever. Facebook seems to be accelerating their own demise, consistently pissing off half of their users, to where now, of course, it's fewer than half, and pretty soon it'll be a lot less, and it'll snowball, and Facebook is writing its own ticket to its own demise with all this BS. I haven't seen them yet. Somebody point me out if I'm wrong, where they have accidentally shut down a liberal candidate or a liberal page or a liberal account, or they've fact-checked liberals posting how Trump colluded with Russia in the last election. Have they fact-checked all of the New York Times and Washington Post's fake reports of that, and Schiff and all those people claiming they had evidence of it, when of course not only was there no evidence of it, but with good reason, because of course anyone that knows anything about Trump knows that's not even possible that could ever have happened. So the whole thing was bogus right from the start. And I haven't heard that they shut down those accounts for their fake posts or fact-checked them, all this stuff, but I see it happening more and more and more. Just Twitter, the same thing, just fact-checking or deleting posts, or putting, warnings on posts. People aren't idiots. Everyone knows that allegations of the fraud in the election are contested, that you even have some Republicans. Of course, what do you expect? Do you expect the Secretary of State of Georgia to come out and admit that the whole thing he ran, the whole election thing that he runs in Georgia, is rife with fraud and was a total ripoff and a total disgrace? You think he's coming right out to say, yep, I'm a disgrace? I can't even run my own state election properly? Of course not. He's defending it like crazy against massive evidence to the contrary. And yet, of course, Facebook and Twitter, and not just social media, but all kinds of left-wing media, other left-wing media, are downplaying it. I saw one thing where there was some guy came on some, congressional hearing in Georgia the other day, and some inventor, and said he claims to be able to have software that can tell which ballots that were mailed in were not really mailed in, or they weren't marked by a human, or there's all kinds of shenanigans going on. And man, torrent of negative stuff about this guy on all the social media sites and online. Like, oh, he invented a really crappy piece of tech device. Like, really? Let me give you a hint. Whoever's writing all those articles on the New York Times and whatever about the crappy tech device, I'll give you a hint. The crappy tech device that anyone has ever invented is a bazillion times more ingenious than anything any of these reporters could do, because none of them could ever invent not only nothing, they couldn't invent anything, but they certainly couldn't invent a tech device, even a crappy one. But they'll crap all over the guy. So that's just the way it goes on social media. When you can't win the argument on the facts, you just attack the person making the argument. Similar to I put posts on social media pointing out all kinds of facts. Well, I get attacked, like they attack the person. Of course, there's no way to attack the truth that, of course, there was tons of cheating in the election. It was apparently, if they get away with it, and I think Biden is real close to getting away with the thing, or whoever, obviously. Oh, I got to laugh at myself. Obviously, Biden doesn't know anything about it, about anything, how to do it or what was done, or probably doesn't even know how to tie his shoes or what day it is. But whoever's behind the whole thing is on the verge of getting away with it, with the help of all the social media sites and all the left-wing legacy media and all that kind of stuff. They're on the verge of getting away with it. But here's the thing. In business, we know, those of us that are doing business the right way, in it for the long haul, there are so many opportunities, so many temptations to do things that would be short-term good, like lie to make a sale, or take on a client or a situation or a partner that might be good. You might get some money coming in short term, but long term it'll destroy your reputation or your business or just mess things up. Like, we know better. We know to resist the temptation to do something for short-term gain if it's going to hurt the long-term benefit of ourselves, our reputation, our authority, our business, everything. And yet you see Facebook and the social media sites doing this, and you see all the cheating that went on in the last election in November. Man, it's like if Georgia pulls this stuff again, this time people are really watching. There's not 50 elections going on, or even 6 or 8 or 10 battleground states. There's one, and now everyone's watching. So you think they're going to be able to paper over the windows and say you're not allowed to look? Pretty sure that's not happening this time. You think they're going to have not enough poll watchers, or make them stand 20 feet away, or kick them out and then pull ballots out from skirted tables where none of the tables are supposed to be skirted. But of course, this one had a skirt, as if what? It's a fancy event? No, you're supposed to have total transparency. But they pull bags and boxes of ballots out and count them when nobody's looking. Like, none of that crap can happen, I don't think, in this next one. I think these people, not only Facebook, like continuing to pull these nonsense games of like, oops, we mistakenly shut down that account. We made a mistake with that. Oh, or how about all the 50 former intelligence officials of the U.S. writing a letter a few days before the election, like, oh, that Hunter Biden laptop, that's Russian disinformation. Yeah, we're sure of it. Like, total lie, total fraud. I mean, unless they're total idiots. Like, of course that was not Russian disinformation or hacked or any of that BS. Of course not. But that allowed Facebook and Twitter to shut down the New York Post and call the article a fraud and a joke, and the same thing they do with this inventor who knows about all the cheating and all the different ways to cheat in Georgia, Pennsylvania, here in Arizona, Wisconsin, Michigan, on and on and on. And if there were more battleground states, they would have done all the cheating stuff there too. So people are watching now in Georgia. People are watching social media. They're onto the whole games Facebook plays. They're leaving Facebook like crazy. And same thing's going to happen if they... The problem is, if they cheat in this election, which is, I think it's coming up next Monday or Tuesday or something. Well, election day is usually Tuesday. It's probably a Tuesday, even though it's a special thing. But man, if they pull the same kind of nonsense in that one, it's not only going to be found out much quicker, much sooner, much easier, and much more pronounced, and be real clear this time, but it might lead to going back to the November election. It might even be some of the same people doing some of the same stuff. It might lead to like, hey, this time we see it right there. It's very clear. So now how about all these allegations and all the massive evidence of the fraud that they've been trying to sweep under the rug and act like, oh, nothing to see here. Like it might reopen up an investigation into that where, you know, I don't know if it's just because of the death threats or because people can't stand Trump or want to get him out, or people hate democracy, which of course they do in D.C. and want to continue their swamp, you know, two parties that are both the same against American system, and they don't like actual democracy or Americans or populism or Americans choosing an outsider, someone they want, you know, might upset the whole thing. And so let's see what happens. Will there be as much cheating in this election as there was in the last one? Will Facebook continue to tip the scales in favor of their favored liberal leftist candidates? Will they keep this up? And how much longer before it just becomes real crystal clear, as if it isn't already, what's going on, and people just scramuse away from Facebook, from Twitter? Let's see what happens. But what does this mean for your business? It means, as usual, if you're depending solely on Facebook ads or a Facebook group or a Facebook anything for your business, watch out. Be careful. Hopefully you're not doing that. Get your eggs out of that one basket. Understand that nothing good lasts forever, nothing bad lasts, or nothing lasts forever. Facebook ain't being around forever. Make sure you spread out into multiple ways. That's the last W of the WOW strategy. Multiple ways to do your advertising, marketing, and sales stuff, and do not depend solely on social media or any one social media site. Craig Leach is here. Great seeing you. I was talking to someone else the other day, by the way, also whose their entire business is using social media to generate leads for business owners. So they got a great thing going. They're doing over $1 million a year. They're generating tons of leads for tons of people, but they're using just social media, and you got to branch out. Days are numbered if that's what you're doing. These big behemoth, all-powerful, monopolistic social media sites right now, not going to last forever. Forewarned is forearmed. Take it to the bank as we see the sun set in the west, ending another social media Saturday. Thanks to everyone being here live, watching on the replay. I'll check in tomorrow, as always, on Sunday Funday, just to say hello. Every day seems like a Sunday these days with the holiday, and first it was New Year's Eve, New Year's Day, Saturday, Sunday. Which day is it? They all seem like a Sunday. But I will check in and say hello tomorrow. Hello, Craig, and everyone else. And I'll catch you back here with more business building tips on Direct Mail Monday. Over and out. Bye-bye.